Okay, I think we're live. So today I'm going to teach you a simple, not so simple trick of how to take any listing photo and transform it into what your vision of the true potential for that property is. And I know it's something that we've all spent a lot of money on, having artists do renditions or have architects draw up, digital plans that everyone knows and looks fake. But it's if you have maybe a fixer upper or a piece of a parcel of land that you want to help the buyer imagine what the property, think of it's like interior design, staging for the entire home, for the outside of the home, for the yard, everything else. And you don't have a large budget to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it with just two tools, and they're either very cheap or free to use online. Okay, so let's get right into it. Oh, and also at the end, I'm going to give you all the stuff so you can do this on your own. Okay, so stay with me till the end. So start with there we go. Start with an image like this of a new listing that you have. And what you really want to be able to say or show is maybe images like this for what it could be. Or you have a image like, man, I always get this wrong. Which way do you go? An image like that, which is the same property. These are just listings I found online that are fixer uppers. And I mean, you walk up to this house and you think, how am I going to get 700,000, $1 million for this junker? Well, you have to really paint that picture, right? It's just like staging. And this is what we can create using a couple of tricks in artificial intelligence. Okay. Obviously, that's what we do. That's why I geek out on it on Fridays with you guys and love showing you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that type of photo and turn it into that. We're going to take that type of photo and turn it into that. I'm going to show you on a couple so you know I'm not trying to bait and switch or anything like that. So the agenda, what we're going to do is we're going to find a listing photo. I'm going to show you how to generate the Midjourney prompts. Midjourney is a platform that generates awesome images. Then we're going to use those prompts inside of the likely ChatGPT integration, and you're going to watch some really cool things happen. Okay, actually, I got that backwards. We're going to create the Midjourney prompts inside of Likely, and then we're going to use those Midjourney prompts along with the URL for the listing photo that we found in step one, and to tell Midjourney, hey, make this look awesome. That's basically what we're going to do. Okay, so watch how this works. So first thing we're going to do is let's go head on over to Zillow and our favorite companion and kind of look around. I thought I found a fixer upper, down here in the valley. Okay, this is perfect. So let's find a photo. Hey, this is the same photos that we were using before. Perfect. So I right click on the photo, tell it to open a new tab. Boom, there's our photo. Okay, all you have to do is be able to copy and paste this URL. That's it. So that's first piece done. Second piece is we want to generate enough Midjourney prompts to give a lot of creative ideas around, I don't know, what this could look like. And you can try to do it yourself. And I'm going to imagine most people are like me, where you have like a limitation to how creative you can be at any given time. And so I've actually written two prompts that I'm going to give you at the end that will generate a ton of Midjourney imagination ideas. All right. So I'm going to copy one in and let's get this thing rolling. So the first thing, now that I have my image, is I'm going to come on over to likely.ai. I'm going to go to the engage section, start a blank chat. I'm going to then paste this prompt that you will have shortly in. And basically what this is I'm training ChatGPT how to think like Midjourney. What all these little crazy things like chaos and aspect ratio and image weight and quality and weirdness mean, and then how to apply those and think through it. And at the very end, I have an extra little piece about what we're actually doing right now, right, to kind of the front yard. So here it is. We got 10 different ideas for what it could be. I used a modern craftsman style home. So let's see, flower beds and front yards, lush green grass, cascading waterfalls. Okay, let's check out this one. So this is what you do. So now we've done step one, found the URL for an image. We've created a bunch of Midjourney prompts, and now what we have to do is use them, right? It's that simple, guys. So you come on over to Midjourney, you come on in. The way I've done it is you literally just hit paste and put it in. It drops it in. It even keeps a seed placeholder image. And what that is geek for is this URL. Come grab this URL, bring it back over here, and literally just replace that seed image. Now we're telling Midjourney and hit enter. Now we're telling Midjourney, hey, use that image to create a new image that have these characteristics. So cascading waterfall and whatnot, whatever else it described. And craftsman style home, front yard, delighting, charming wood bridge, small stream, vegetable garden. So you can get really creative. Like this just kind of gets your juices going, at least for me. Maybe it's a nook surrounded by blooming flowers. Like I always end up kind of defaulting back to, well, this is what I think it should be, and then it never ends up being quite as beautiful as it could be, right? And that's not doing justice to you or your client. So when you're going through and actually building this, as you can see, it only takes a couple of minutes, right? I would tweak this to whatever you see for the property. Start with one of them. I'm going quick, so this is going to be kind of all over the place. You can see this is a much larger house. That's not what we wanted. Right? Here's another prompt I did a couple minutes ago, and it gave me kind of what I was picturing in my head I would want to showcase and sell or use to sell a property that right now just doesn't look like that. And I don't think anyone would be able to use their imagination quite like that. So let's go on to another one while that one finished rendering, so you don't have to sit here and watch these things go and go and go. You can see how they slowly kind of come in. And each one of the different prompts that I use there does have very different characters. So you have to kind of read into them. So here's a whole different what that property could look like from the front. If we're walking up, so if you want to go modern or a little bit whatnot. Maybe even almost a little Asian there. And that's what that kind of chaos is the higher that is, the more variations there's going to be in each one of the pictures. But now let's try it again. Let's go to, let's try it on another. I found this other beater. I mean, really looking for fixer-uppers today. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, kind of sad. Let's do exactly the same one just to see what it comes back with. Or actually, you know what? Let's do a different one. Front yard. Oh, there we go. That'll be fun to see. Again, we're just copying, pasting, and then grabbing the photo we wanted to use. What we're using, the beat up one. Yeah, beat up one. And dropping it in. Now, I can do this on and on and on. It's really straightforward. Once you have the 3 steps, kind of know what they are, which is find the property that you want to help. So it could just be one on your desktop. And if it is one on your desktop, you can actually drop it into Midjourney and do it. That'll be another video. But using the URL seems to be the easiest. You don't have to download anything, upload anything, just paste it in there. And then you have to create the Midjourney prompts using the trained Chat GPT. So we're using one AI to train it on how another AI likes to do things in order for that final one, Midjourney, to create the best images possible of what's kind of in your mind. It's kind of like daisy chaining things along. So you can see that there's all these iterations that we can get. Now this is from that second beat up home, right? I mean, these are getting out there, but you can see how they're using more of the reds and the grays that were in that one. I mean, I think I did one earlier today that off of that same second destroyed home just to see what it looked like. And in this prompt, it actually kept it pretty close to what it was. It just kind of made some changes to make it a little bit nicer. So that's what's so awesome about how creative you can be with using tools like this. And it doesn't just work for complete teardowns. I think that's one of the best use cases, or homes that just need a little more loving, or maybe some rooms in the house that haven't been finished and you want to kind of show what it could look like finished. Using the same technique that we're doing right now and just saying, I want to have a finished living room or and use the design style. I'm using a modern craftsman style, but you could use any type of design style you want. And I'd probably talk to an interior designer if you're going to do inside, because it really does a good job if you can articulate what you want it to do. But like, let's say that you also have clients that, that's another junker here. Okay, here's a backyard. So what if we say we want to do it for the backyard? the products that I'm using, the products that I'm using are likely.ai. I'm using a prompt that I wrote to generate mid-journey design prompts or graphic prompts. Then I'm taking those, which you see on the screen now, and I'm copying and pasting those into Midjourney with the URL of a listing photo. And I am basically telling Midjourney to transform that image into whatever's inside of that graphic prompt. Right? So awe-inspiring yard, showcasing Mediterranean garden, bubbling rocky fountain. I think we did that one already. We can do another one here. Let's run another one so we get fresh ones here. Let's do one for the backyard. And it's a great way to quickly transform. I get really ugly photos or properties that need a ton of PLC, and you can write PLC in the listing description. Fixer upster needs a little love. We all know it means it's kind of a dumper. And how are people supposed to imagine what it could look like? Well, with a couple of the tricks that I'm showing you. So I just copied in this prompt and to kind of go back over since you're asking what it is. As I'm training ChatGPT how to think like Midjourney, which is the graphic creating AI. And that way it'll write prompts for whatever we want. And I added in at the bottom of this one after I trained it that I wanted it to create it for Midjourney, and I want a craftsman, modern craftsman. You can change the style, you can change whatever specifics you want in that last little bit there, because that's the part that is trained specifically for this. So let's see if we have anyone with a pool, swimming pool. Okay, so let's use this one. I don't know what it's going to exactly look like, but this is another just example. So since we're doing the backyard, we're going to drop it in, and maybe you already have a house with a beautiful backyard. I would say this house has a beautiful backyard, but you want to, give the buyer the option to imagine what else they could do with it, right? For a variety of reasons. Maybe it's a little bit small. Maybe it's out of date style, but it's still nice. You name it. But if you say, hey, I want to take something that's already nice and just give it a couple of more layers or views of how to have it, this is what you do. And then you literally just print these off or literally grab them and drop them onto your desktop and use them as part of your listing photos that you upload to the MLS. Or maybe it's a private showing and you're going to take a client around to 16 homes that all kind of dumpers, but they're looking for those investment properties, and they need a little help seeing what it could be. Do it for each one of those and just pop out a print off. Hey, I know this is what this looks like, but imagine this, and hold it up in front of the house and kind of bring it down. Sell them on the potential of the property, on the full potential, not just on where it's at today. So taking that photo, there you go. That's what it reimagined it as using. I don't even know what it said, but I guess it had a lot of garden and plants. You can see, it's a whole different property. But let's just say that we love that one right here in the top. All you have to do is say, hey, you know what? I want to use that. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. U stands for upsize to make it really big. V stands for give me versions of that one. All right. So let's just upsize number 2, which will be that one. And then it'll create a downloadable version of that file. So there it is. And now I have a very detailed view of that. And I can download it with a save. And now I've got that image. It's very high quality that you can use in anything you want. Now, where do you get these prompts? Well, I wrote a blog on this, and I wanted to share. I wanted to put this in somewhere where it's easy to access, and it's not just, hey, you heard me on the video, which thank you for everyone that is here, but also a place for you to come back to. So I wrote a blog about how to do this, and in this blog post, I'll put a link to it in the comments on the video here. I go through how to use it, how to train it. So you can use any one of these prompts. There's a handy little copy button. I even put some fun ones in here. So like imagine here, let's just see what that does. I think it gives us a fun soccer player looking funky. But that is part of the power of Midjourney, is that you can, once you understand how it works and you can train ChatGPT, you can have it do anything you want, right? So you can come here. I'm going to show you that picture in a second. I go through step by step how to do this. And I give you a couple of variations of this prompt. So if you want to create kind of simplistic images, but like clean, nice things you can use in your marketing, there's a formula for that. It's very, very straightforward. Use that exactly. I mean, and then literally put in the subject and a couple of descriptive words. You're going to get these nice banner looking things, right? If you want to use the one that created that image, you can use this one right here, right below. Or that created this, you can use this right here. So I'm giving you exactly the prompt. I'm giving you the formula and then the prompt that created each one of these graphics. And to kind of illustrate, as you go up into higher quality graphics, I gave both a high quality and then a photorealistic version of these prompts. So if you're going for a full photo, and I'm used agent celebrating, so you guys can kind of get it. Like these look good. Both of them look good. But there is just like a little bit more of a realistic feel and fit and finish to the photorealistic version because it's using more of these kind of the parameters that you can tweak that most people won't want to mess with, right? That's why I'm trying to make it simple. Just a copy and paste. Here's an example of using the photorealistic of the most expensive, beautiful homes in the world, right? I mean, these places don't exist, but we were able to create them, and there's the graphic. Now, at the bottom is where I added this earlier today. So if you want to do realistic renovation photos, like that's where you're going to take this prompt right here and just literally copy it. And the only thing you're going to want to change is this last piece here when you paste it in, okay? Everything else is training ChatGPT on what to do. And then so maybe you don't like modern craftsman style. Maybe you want something else. Fill that in. Maybe you don't want to talk about the back. Maybe there's specific things about the property you want to call out. Do that. The AR stands for aspect ratio. 16:9 is what you think of like a YouTube thumbnail. It's a little bit longer than it is tall. It's pretty standard for that. Use 1:1 if you want a perfect square, right? But those are pretty kind of standard things. And that's what we used earlier today to take this image and it created these. And it's this really detailed, beautiful view. And what I've also done over here with all the ones I was showing you. Now, for the fun one that I threw in that area, you can see him playing soccer. Now you can play with that, and you can see that I didn't tell it an aspect ratio. It told it like a 4 or 5, so it's a little short, not quite as wide, but taller, right? So you can, man, there's a lot of things you can get really complicated with, but the takeaway here is there's a tremendous amount of power when you start to daisy chain or interact with multiple models rather than just relying on, let's just say, one model to do everything for you. You start to use Likely AI for one thing, you use ChatGPT for another, Midjourney for a third. And before you know it, you have a full marketing department for the cost of, an eighth of a person, right? And if there's any mundane in between things, we're starting to see generative AI turn into interactive AI, which is where then it starts doing all the things for you. It doesn't just create it, but then it does the extra whatever it is you need to do. And that's coming. But for where we are right now, learning little hacks like this, tricks to use simple tools or tools that are accessible to you. And man, these are everywhere. These types of hacks, secrets, codes, whatever you want to call them. And I could geek out and love to do it. And so if you guys want to interact, if you guys want to try some of this and post about what you create, I'd love to see that interact with you on it. Because it really does get me excited, because we're moving into a place where, in a sales industry like residential real estate or mortgage or even in real estate investing, you used to have to outsource everything else. And now with just understanding how some of these tools work, you can do it all yourself. You can do whatever you picture for that marketing piece. It doesn't take 4 days for 6 different people to touch and come back completely wrong. You can have 10 iterations done in 30 minutes. If you've got a bunch of properties that you're trying to sell, hey, use the plot of land, put it in, and tell it what type of home you want, and it'll imagine the home on that land with roughly the same foliage around it. It'll look similar. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Like, follow, comment, reshare, guys. Help me get this out. So that way, the industry, you can look like a true professional that you're on top of your game of the AI tools that are available. And keep an eye out for a link to our blog. Otherwise, just go to likely.ai/blog and you can find all of these things there. And that would be where I would point you to find this, right? It's just likely.ai and then it's our blog. You use Refresh Engine to effortlessly create beautiful mid-journey prompt designs, okay? So everything's here. Happy hunting. And the one thing that I keep telling everybody internally so many times a day that I keep forgetting to say on any video is that data is setting the stage. Let's set the stage, and AI is stealing the show. So now that we're at a place where AI can actually up and run, and we've been doing it for years now, a lot of people thought it was snake oil for a while, but the data is still, was always a part that was blocking us. And then it was, there's enough GPUs to do it, but we are there. The data has set the stage. And now AI is stealing the show. So the faster you learn how to use tools like Likely AI, ChatGPT, and Midjourney all together, you're going to have basically the world's your oyster at that point. So happy hunting, happy Friday. Please like, follow, click, share, all those fun jazz things, right? Have a great weekend, everybody.